What is going on, guys? It's Burgas here and welcome to another Call of Dragon video. Today I'm going to talk about Seluna, one of the heroes that is going to become a legendary hero. And I'm very excited because she's, how to say it, related to mages, and I'm mage main. I have played mage main from the time I play Call of Dragons. Obviously I also play other troops, but yeah, at the end of the day I want to check it out, this new legendary hero, give my first impression because I didn't actually check the spells, and I'm going to maybe talk about the existing mages we're having in Call of Dragons, and maybe some pairing or whatever actually come to my mind for Seluna, the new legendary hero in Call of Dragon. So we're not going to waste more time. Let's jump directly and check it out. This hero, I want to point out that this is, still video. This hero is not in the game at the moment, still not in the game. So I'm going to just go and check it out. Now this is the first spell. The good thing here is everything's level 5. Sorry for the booty stuff, but it is what it is. So this hero is overall, and also have a skill. If I remember right, she's actually overall. Deals damage to the target 1.8k and get 1 stack of Luna Moth Mark. Each time the Legion launches a normal attack, it has 20% chance to get 1 stack of Luna Moth Mark, 60% when leading a flying Legion. So if she's a leader, which I start thinking she's going to be, since she's having the skill talent tree, if she's a leader, 60% chance when launches a normal attack to get this Luna Moth Mark. And each stack of Luna Moth Mark allow the Legion to ignore 5% of the enemy defense. This is like max 6 stacks. Now I want to point out something here. This is crazy good. I mean, 1.8k, yeah. We mage mains are used to have AoE damage dealers, especially when we start from season 1. Woldir, Velen, Lilia, you have like 4 mages that are very solid AoE damage dealers. So, single target mages were like, not so sure about that, okay? Not so sure about that, but yeah, I believe this hero is going to be a good one. It's very nice spell, especially like 30%. If she's a commander, she's most likely, in almost all of the cases, she's going to have this 30% defense down. Now let's check out the other spells. What is going to be this? Oh my god. Brother, who write that much for a spell? This is like half year to read. When in the battle on the field, the Legion deals damage to the target Legion each time it loses weight. When in the battle of the field, the Legion deals damage to the target Legion each time it loses 20% of its unit count. Damage factor 125 for number of Luna Moth Mark stacks. If the Legion is defeated in the field, it consumes all stacks of Luna Moth Mark to immediately deals damage to the enemy Legion that defeated. Damage factor 200 number of Luna Moth Mark. So you can have like 6 Luna Moth Mark, so 200, this is going to be 1.2k at the end of the day. Damage determined by the Legion unit count upon city departure. If the Legion survives the battle, it consumes all the stacks of Luna Moth Mark to receive healing. Healing factor is going to be the same. Now this is very nice for aggressive and defensive approach. I believe here is not the important thing that you're going to do the damage if your Legion get defeated. The important thing here is the healing. This healing factor is going to be absolutely wild because it's going to trigger every time you survive the battle. So you enter in the battle, you leave the battle, so you basically are surviving the battle. So I wonder how much this healing factor is going to get triggered. This can be, it can be imba spell. This one right here can be imba spell, unbalanced spell. Let's say it like this, on the normal human language. So yeah, definitely needs the healing. The healing part need to be tested. Definitely. But yeah, if your legion get defeated, nobody care. It is what it is. But the healing here, it may actually create a sustain for this legion that is going to be even better from like 3 Sand Lizards, for example. Okay, let's check out the next spell. The Legion melee unit get 15% attack. The Legion ranged unit deals 50. Wait, what? The Legion melee units get 15% attack. The Legion range units deals 15% more damage. Range units deals 15% more damage. This is applying to everything. To attack, to artifacts, to skills. This is crazy. This is actually crazy. Yeah, the melee legions get like 15% attack. The rage one get damage do 15%, which also affect the artifacts and the pet skills. This is wild. I think this hero is definitely for the range heroes. When leading a flank legion, the legion's melee units get 15%. When leading a flank legion, the legion melee units get extra 15% attack. So here we're talking about the Eagles, and its range units deals extra 15% more damage. I think we're going to start seeing maybe Bertrand with Seluna, or maybe Seluna with Atius. Atius have like 30% chance. I mean, actually, going to. Yeah, I'm not going to show you now. Atius have like 30% to get 60 rage. So it's absolutely crazy rage engine. And you're getting like 30% more damage do. And if you put some crazy artifact there, ooh, this is going to be great for poking game. Definitely great for poking game. Very, very nice. Okay, this spell is also so far looking good. And finally, it's going to be the Legion get 10% march speed, 10% HP. When leading a flank Legion, it get extra 20% rage. When leading, so we see that condition when leading couple times. So definitely this here should leading this Legion. It gets extra 20% march speed and 20% more. Wait, what? In total 30% HP. And so many, and 20% march speed. Brother, that's crazy. Seluna Atios, this is what I'm seeing as a fast mage celestial striking strategy. It look absolutely amazing. And finally, the awakening. What's going to be? Upon getting 4 Una mod mark, the Legion deals 7.5% more damage for 4 seconds, max 4 stacks. Okay, so hear me out, guys, because this hero, it is looking absolutely wild. Now this hero, the first spell, okay, this is not actually the first spell. The first spell, if she is a commander, actually leading the Legion, she's having 60% chance to get 1 Una mod mark. So every 2 attacks, let's say every 2 attacks, she's going to receive 1 Una mark. Every 10 attacks, she's going to have like 6 Una marks. So in one full cycle of the damage, she may actually have like between 20 and 30% damage defense penetration, which is crazy. On top of that, she's going to get more damage though. 7.5%, 4 stacks. Do you know how much this is? This is absolutely wild. Because you can easily get 4 stacks, and this is like 30% more damage too. This is amazing. I mean, having skill talentry and PvP talentry have a very solid talents. Like from PvP talent, I'm going to just show you. I mean, why I'm just talking about here. Okay, let's jump over the heroes now. If you have a PvP talentry, you're having extra 1% hero skill damage. Normally is something like normally it's like 4%. As you can see, it's like 4%. Here is 5%. I mean, stuff like that. More damage do. 1.5% more damage done. Your legion do. Increase the damage do by your legion 1% every 10 seconds, maximum 3%. You start seeing how strong and solid is the PvP talentry. So Seluna is looking absolutely wild. Absolutely wild beast. Absolute wild beast. And I believe we may actually start seeing some flying PvP, because this hero is giving you 30% march speed from the spells she is having. Here we actually have something like by default is 10% more march speed if she is leading, which most likely want to do it, because from 20% you jump to 60% for this mark. You're going to have like 30% march speed from Seluna. Now if you pair her with Athios, the other flying hero, let me get the epic one also. You're going to get this rage engine, 30% chance to get 60 rage, but also 20% march speed bonus. And this is like 50% just from the spells. On top of that, Athios is having mobility talentry, which is something that can increase even more your march speed, which is absolutely wild. You can get even more march speed plus PvP talentry. So we're having a lot of march speed right here with Athios. This for the flying, I strongly believe Seluna should be with Athios, not that much with the Bertrand, but it may actually have to do some tests. We may actually have to do some tests, because Bertrand is also increasing the skill damage output of the Legion. So one of the pairs, and maybe the most strong one, is going to be with Athios for fast flying strike with Seluna, and on top of that, for the ground PvP, maybe I'm going to pair her with Thunderlin. Why is that? Because I have Yu Ming with Gromara. This is something that I want to pair up. I have Lilia with Thea. I don't have Thea right now over our heroes, but I have Lilia. Where's Thea? Lilia, Thea. Bertrand Toher. I always run one infantry legion, so I'm going to have Joran Kuma or Goresh Kuma, strongly depend how developed is my Joran. And finally, maybe I'm going to go Thunderlin with Seluna. Now some people are going to ask me, where is Margaret, where is Moo? So far I believe I was running Thunderlin with Moo, but if Seluna give me better results, I am going to replace Mu Xiang with Seluna with Thunderlin. Now if I run 5 mages, I'm definitely going to find a place for Seluna. That's right. I mean, what is currently multi. Okay, so I'm having like Thunderling with Arceus. Most likely Arceus is going to be replaced. And I'm having Musiang with Velen. This is the other combo that you cannot actually see here. So if I have to be honest, Seluna is looking absolutely amazing. I was not having huge expectation. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I didn't have huge expectation for the game to give us something very nice when they give us Yu Ming, because Yu Ming is the most broken mage in Call of Dragons. So I was like, they're going to give us this mage, which is amazing. Everybody loved this mage. But in the next 2 generations, we may not actually get something nice. This is what I was expecting. But I may be wrong, because this is actually not a mage, by the way. Seluna is overall hero from what I see. I mean, I cannot see that close. Maybe it's when at the beginning when she was presented. Okay. Yeah, this is Seluna. Oh my god, it's so fast changing the images. There's some new events. Oh my. Okay, she's overall hero. Yeah, that's correct. Overall PvP skill hero. So this is my 2 cents over Seluna, guys. I strongly believe she's going to be a very nice mage hero. Also marksman hero. I don't believe he's good melee hero. But yeah, we're going to see. So yeah, thank you very much for everybody who watched this video that far. Don't forget to hit one like, subscribe. I wish you a great day, and see you in the next video.